then tonight we went to fly them, and three of them, and not a single one of them would fly tonight. It was
Oh, even after the recharge?
signal. Yeah, even after the battery charge, the signal was good. The remote was connecting to the actual brain. They would turn on. They would sync up. They would get power. The rotors would all turn, and then as soon as you went to fly,
Oh no.
shut down. It just shut right off, and there's no off switch. So
Not
you
enough
have to
current or what?
you have to detach it, reconnect it, do it again. We did this like 20 times, and then rebuilt them, took them apart, rebuilt them, and it was fun. They were happy about it, but it was really
It's good for
discouraging.
science class because that's what science is about. Find the problem
rebuilding.
and fix it, right?
Yeah, rebuilding, troubleshooting, connecting, reconnecting, checking all the wires. Like everything was connecting, but then as soon as you go to give it juice, dead. It just shuts off. I'm like, and you can there's like a standby mode where you can, yeah, I see her too. You can there's a little standby mode where all the propellers will all turn and it goes. Right. And then you can there's a modes you can turn on. You can clear everything, and then you can set it all up so you get like high speed, low speeds, hover, stable. But then as soon as you go to fly it,
man,
yeah. So I'm going to be contacting the company and trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's not on you. If you put everything together perfectly, then
well, hopefully it's 3 of them, and all 3 of them are doing the exact same thing. So it's something.
Yeah,
anyway.
Either a consistent problem that you have or
adventures in Steam.
Yeah, because if I mean, it could be a consistent capacitor problem.
It could be a million.
When you give it juice, the fucking one of those what do they call them? Diodes.
Resistor.
No.
So it would be it'd just be one of the microchips is just going, no, I don't want to.
Yeah, that's too much. Sorry.
Yeah.
And they go to bed. Yeah. Perhaps.
I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'm hoping that it's something really small and I can it's a coding problem. I'm hoping it's just a coding thing and then I can just figure out. But I went through all the steps anyway.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Nice teaching moment about science is that this is what science is. Sometimes things don't work and you got to figure it out.
This is what engineering is all about. Okay, Hazel, get off.
Engineering in particular. Yeah.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Why can't she just join?
Because she sits on the cable and then she has a habit of knocking the box off and then knocking.
Oh no! I mean, around. Why can't Hazel just join Fluffy back there? I forgot. Fluffy's name.
Yeah, they don't really get along. Joe doesn't really like anybody. She likes humans.
A little bit too much sometimes. Hey, buddy, we're on the internet, man.
Are we on the internet? Right on. Welcome to Critters in Taiwan, a D&D podcast about Critical Role, where a bunch of nerdy-ass voice actors sit around and play Dungeons and Dragons. I am Ben and Gaosheng.
I'm Tim and Taichung.
We're Critters in Taiwan.
Yep, 2 of them. Among many.
We know you're out there.
Yeah. So, hey, dude, we got a new episode here.
We do have a new episode. Should we just get into it, or?
Yeah, there was a lot of heavy shit that was going on before, and this is kind of like. Go ahead. Could
I say a thing? I'd like to say 2 things. One of them is a spoiler. I'll save that one maybe for later. But the first one is kind of interesting, and that is about Beacon.
Yeah. Okay. I was going to ask about that. That was one of my points.
Oh, sorry about that. Well,
no. Don't never say sorry about one of my points. It's like
they did the reveal of their own streaming service.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what Beacon is. I saw the thing in the break, and they said the thing in the beginning.
Yeah, it's a subscription thing. And what I've found out about it this weekend is something really interesting. So basically, what it is they don't want to be beholden to Amazon or Google.
Amazon. Twitch.
They don't want to be on Twitch. They don't want to be on. Well, they're still going to be on Twitch. They just don't. I think the thing is that they don't want to be beholden, much like they did with Legend of Vox Machina. They don't want to be beholden to any giant corporation. So they shopped it out for themselves and they do their own thing. They went
to Amazon.
Well, Amazon is distributing it, but Amazon doesn't actually have any fingers in it.
Okay.
Right, other than the distribution. It's the same with Twitch, where Amazon owns Twitch, but they don't really do anything with Critical Role. They just are a distributor of it.
Right.
Same with YouTube. Google owns YouTube, and they don't want to be in. They're like, no, we're whatever. If we want to do our own thing, then we don't want to be beholden to Google's rules. If YouTube has different rules about what can be monetized and what's not going to be monetized, then they want to have control over that. So that, I think, is the primary reason. But the real interesting part of it for me is that they're showing if you subscribe to Beacon, which for the record I probably won't, but we'll see what the future holds, because they're still going to be throwing everything on Twitch and YouTube. It's still going to be all readily available there.
If it's available right now, I'm not going to change anything.
Right, exactly. But the difference is what they call the cooldowns.
Right.
And a couple of other neat little things like VIP stuff, right? So the cooldown stuff, I've been reading, people have been posting a lot of stuff about what they're seeing on the cooldowns. This is the after. Okay.
Have been seeing? What are you talking about?
So they have put, I'm not, this is not confirmed yet.
Did they have a beta beacon where people were seeing them at the cooldowns after the show?
The cameras have always been rolling after episodes.
Of course they should, right?
And if you subscribe to Beacon, you get to watch that.
Right. So you get to see them discuss shit. You see them cry,
like,
and somebody dies or whatever. Yeah.
This past episode, Laura, at the end of 94, people that got subscribed to Beacon, they watched Laura make a comment that Imogen hadn't chosen her 7th level spell yet, because at level 13, they are level whatever they're at. 13,
How do you know
14.
this? Reddit's?
The Reddits, yeah.
Okay.
So the people, they talk about how Laura talked about how Imogen is not chosen, and there was a bunch of things that were thrown around at the table, what suggestions for what that 7th level spell should be, and then I don't think it really went anywhere. I think her and Matt are going to reskin one of the spells in flavor of Imogen's backstory.
It's like beta as the live shows go.
Right. So, but I think there's some interesting stuff that's going on in terms of the seriousness of how seriously they take this stuff, and how seriously they do the RP stuff, and they do a lot of talking about where the character is going, how they felt before, and how they're going to feel going forward about certain situations and certain things. So that kind of made me take pause, and I'm like, okay, I'd like to see some of this and get a better inside perspective about because sometimes I think you and I talk about this and we're like, what the fuck were they thinking? Why were they doing that? What did they feel this way? Why would they even do that? And people
we talk about that frequently.
A lot. And people have been saying on the Reddits that, yeah, they discuss these things very vehemently and with intense vigor and vim. And I like V words. And so they throw that out there, and they're really serious about this. So I think there might be some things that just that us that only subscribe to Twitch may be missing out on.
Right. Do you think somebody rubbed them the wrong way, or are they just like, dude, this is such a big company, we should probably take it in our own hands?
I think it's a lot of both. I think they are using the guise of, hey, we want some more control and we want to give you a bunch of options. And I think it's more about them having control because they are a giant company now.
You know, like the
which hurts me a little bit in some ways, because it immediately made me think of what a friend of mine said about 5 or 6 years ago, when I was talking about how big D&D 5e has made D&D become. Yeah. And he immediately said, he's like, yeah, watch out. That's what happens. And now I'm thinking now, and he made that comment about how, and when people too many people get their fingers in that pie, and then the pie becomes garbage. Yeah. It's like corporations get in. That's what the OGL stuff with Hasbro all flared up, and people are very, very worried about this. But it also makes me think back to that thing that people do with music. Mm-hmm, you and I can relate to this one a lot.
That was my next nugget.
This is when people love a band, and then they're like, oh, dude, they sold out. Oh, you should have heard them before this happened. Oh, they were amazing, and they were so good. And back when I saw them play in like a little grungy little dive bar, and oh, they were so much better. And people get that nostalgia, which is mostly bullshit, because we all know everything about memories that are completely unreliable. So it's like, right, we love to talk.
You're so bitter.
Some would say jaded, but I call it realistic.
Okay. That's what bitter people say.
Yeah, it is.
Because like Death Cab for Cutie, I saw them when I was in college, and then they got big, and they moved to Seattle. They stopped saying they were from Bellingham. They said they were from Seattle. It's like, no, you're not. You're definitely from Bellingham.
Right.
They started saying they're from Seattle because it's more world renowned of a city. And then their music kind of changed too, even though they still had their Death Cab for Cutie sound. And it was like, and after they went to Seattle, I wasn't a big fan of their albums anymore.
Right.
You know, there are songs there here and there, but
it's funny how people switch like that, eh? They're like, yeah, we
get a producer, and it fucking kind of changes you a little bit. But somebody's got to make money off your talent.
I think we can go even one step further than that and say that it's also fans change because they long for when the band was, even if the band didn't change, they long for when the band wasn't as popular, wasn't as big, wasn't as
when they were the only
people.
fan.
Right. I'm an OG fan, so I'm better than you.
Right.
That shit. That's more what I'm talking about. So I think that in relation to where they're going, a couple of thoughts about it. I think the biggest one is as they keep doing more and more stuff like this, I get that I worry, and I think we see bits and pieces of it with how tired they are and how much less energy they have to put into the show. Maybe I worry.
I'm with you on that, dude. I remember bringing Death Cab up in a conversation way previous, like maybe 100 episodes ago. Do we have 100 to even mention of? Maybe 50.
Yeah, we do. We're over 100.
Because we're at 94.
Yeah, but we've done a bunch of others like EXUs and stuff. So
yeah, but we didn't. Yeah, okay. Where I was kind of evoking the idea of you have a lot of good ideas, and like that first album, the second album, fantastic, and then you kind of like used up your ideas, and you're not actually that prolific of an artist because these are great ideas, and they'll sell 2 albums, and then after that, it's like, oh, I'm gonna keep trying, but it's gonna be derivative. That was what I called the Death Cab effect.
Right. I was listening
to fantastic albums until they went kind of corporate, and then they had kind of whatever albums. You know?
That reminds me of a conversation that I was listening to with Bill Maher and Bill Burr talking about the Beatles.
A couple of great Bills.
Yeah, it was a weird conversation. They were talking about the Beatles, and Maher is a huge Beatles fan, and so Burr was saying about how that the Beatles. He made the comment that, and it was misinterpreted, but he made the comment that the Beatles were a big boy band basically in the early days, and they probably should never have made it. But the reason they did, well, they shouldn't have, because they in today's market, they would have done "She Loves Me," yeah, and then they would have done, and the producer would have gone. Now a producer would have gone, "Oh yeah, that works. Stick with that. So let's do "She Loves Me" more, and they would have done like another version of it, just being like you said, just being derivative. But the reason why the Beatles or were so successful is because they didn't stick with that. They changed their sound. They out of that one, which I think was Rubber Soul, I believe. And then they went into
You're asking the wrong guy.
Revolver, then White Album, then like
they had that weird
Sgt.
one.
Peppers. They did all these crazy different albums after that and became like Beatlemania hit, and then they completely changed their sound. So it's like this, they were not content to sort of ride on their laurels. They wanted to evolve and wanted to grow and become different and bigger and arguably better.
Yeah. And
it reminds me of the same sort of thing. It's like, yeah, don't be content with what you've got. Strive for change, but don't forget your roots.
So CR, they have their Critical Role Foundation, and they have their fucking multi-million powerhouse, this empire, right?
Yes.
And what Beacon, I feel, is doing is like, okay, let's keep this personal. Yeah. And the only part that I found like a little bit uncomfortable was that, like, oh, if you subscribe, if you're a paid subscriber, you get this. And it's like, a paid subscriber, dude. I've been a fan this whole time, and you're asking for more money. Yep. You know, like, you've already gotten a ton of money from me, even though I only pay this much per month. It's nothing. It's peanuts.
And most of that goes to Amazon anyway,
right?
Because
we're like a third of it at least. Yeah. Like I was on Twitch for a bit, and anytime somebody subscribed, it was $5 to subscribe, US dollars. $1 went to Twitch, $1 went to something, and $3 went to me.
Right.
So so like a person
Yep.
spending 5 and they're only supporting me 3/5 of the way. And it's fine. It's good support. I was happy to receive it, but it was also like, oh,
I
you're
know.
just
I know.
tossing money out to this non-homeless, multi-million fucking yeah.
Yep.
So what Beacon is, I feel like they're trying to take it to their own reins,
I hope so. I hope
but
that's
also
all it
asking
is.
for paid subscriptions.
I
It's
know.
like
Well,
you
you're
guys
gonna
should
get
be
stuff with
okay.
that. Like people that do Beacon are gonna get like for the which is gonna segue into my next point. People that subscribe to Beacon are gonna get first access to live shows and to VIP stuff like that. So they're gonna get tickets. They'll get ticket sales first. So there is reason for it. They're
Ticket
also
sales,
gonna get
yeah.
they're gonna get they're gonna get updates first. They're gonna get first crack at podcasts. They're gonna get first crack at material. They're gonna get there's gonna be some VIP stuff associated with that. So there will be rewards for people that want to subscribe. I think that might be for those people, not for us, but for some other people that are more like stands. They might be more into it than
Would you
I think
consider
we
us
are.
stands?
No,
No. So
no.
we're not
We
stands.
I think for me this a stand level is like that's you're cosplaying and you're going to shows
Oh,
and
okay.
you're going to the cons and you're going like you're
Okay.
in
Okay.
for them. Personally, I'm more into the show as opposed to them.
Right.
I think there's a distinction. Maybe we have the same category, just different levels. I don't know.
Yeah, they could be debatable, because like
Sure.
as big of fans that we are,
Yeah.
two people who are not a part of the show start a fucking podcast in some other country.
Yeah.
That's pretty big fandom. However, I'm not cosplaying as any
Yeah,
of these
yeah.
characters.
I think to stand, you got to go hard. You got to go a lot harder than we do. I think maybe I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Can I talk about the second thing, which is about
Get the
live
comments on
shows?
YouTube. That's how you
So
get in touch and tell them what's up.
The quick
Go ahead,
the quick
go
and dirty of this one. I don't really want to say it because I think it would be more fun to say it to live it, but it's also fun to say it.
Good.
Guess who's on? So their live show is episode 98, July something, June 14th, and then it will be aired June. It will be put on the YouTube.
Just had it up.
On the 20th, I think, is the Thursday that it will be replayed. It's the weekend before the June 20th show, or the June 20th episode, which is episode 98.
Fuck, I just had it up, but I don't remember where I put it.
Live at the Greek.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Guess
the Greek.
who's live at the Greek? Guess who is on that bill?
But you really want me to guess?
Yeah, I do.
Gilbert Gottfried.
No, who's not at the table right now?
Samuel Jackson.
You're right. No. No, Sam is on the bill.
What do you mean he's on the bill? What does that mean?
That means his new character will be debuted either then or before then.
Oh, fuck off. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
So this is information that's out there,
Yes.
and you got this through Reddit's?
Yes. It's on. If you go to the website, you can see. You have the Greek website. You can actually see him on the list.
So
Now that could be a red herring because he's just involved in the company and blah blah blah. But I take it to mean he's going to be there.
okay.
He may actually be there regardless. But
I imagine he would. He's a big part of the company.
yeah, who would not listen? Who would not want to go to this theater? But this is Sam Riegel we're talking about. He wants to be on that fucking stage in front of all those people.
What was the fucking arena or whatever they played like the last time?
The Wembley.
Yeah, Wembley.
Yeah.
And he was up there as like, even the comedian that came up that had that
Yeah.
slight little guest spot, he's like,
Yep.
the only time as a comedian I'm ever going to do this is right now, so let's do
Yes.
it. And Sam's up there and he's like, let's go Freddie Mercury on this shit. Because there's no other chance I'm going to get 100,000. It wasn't that many. It was like, what is it, 20,000?
10,000,
15,000?
15,000.
Yeah, something like that. And he's just... just showering himself with
I know. That's what I'm saying. he's gonna. You think he's gonna pass that chance up? His new character is incoming. I believe. Old character incoming. New character incoming.
I would have to think that it's going to be a temporary fucking character.
Maybe.
It can't be a permanent character. I mean, what are they gonna have? 8 people at the table when we come back?
They did. They had 8. They had when Robbie was there. They had at the beginning. They had 8 for many episodes.
It was a bit much.
Yeah, okay.
You know. I mean, like, if Sam's gonna come back, like, what are they gonna do? Like,
what are?
I mean, people might die.
Tim,
I guess.
Tim, I think they're gonna play D&D.
As the girlfriend says, "Baby, calm down."
There you go.
It's D&D, and as we both talked about before as well.
D&D.
D&D. Oh shit, that was the last campaign.
Okay. Hey, tonight, guess what we're talking about?
20 minutes and 40 seconds in.
Yeah. Tonight, we're talking about, this is a good one. You're going to like this. Pay attention.
Okay.
Tonight, we're talking about episode 94, Where the Red Fern Glows.
Huh. Okay. Not so on the nose as before.
This, as soon as I saw it this morning when I woke up, I read the thing. It just, my brain went, huh? Oh. And then I sat back in the sofa and all these memories flooded.
Where the red fern
glows,
not
and
grows,
the red,
glows,
and it's Fearne with Fearne, Fearne,
right.
like our character Fearne.
Yeah.
You don't recognize it, do you?
Where the red fern glows. This must be a literary work that I'm not familiar with.
It is. It's a 1960s.
Please fill us in.
It's a 1960s book called Where the Red Fern Grows.
I know of this title.
It has a very special place in my heart. It is a heartbreaker of a book.
Tell us about it.
It's right up there with Old Yeller, Fox and the Hound. It's in that. Those ones made when I was a kid. There was nothing more.
It's a children's book, right? Where the red fern grows.
It's a young adult. This is not a little kid's book. This is like a 9, 10, 11-year-old book written in the 1960s. Like you want to be in that grade 5, grade 6 age.
Ready to handle some kind of emotions.
Yeah, because it is intense. It's about a kid who goes and gets a couple of spoilers, yeah. And this book probably could not be written today because this kid goes out and gets a couple of coon hounds.
Oh no!
And he goes and hunts raccoons with them.
Right.
And they're poor, and he raises 2 dogs a brother and sister. Old Dan and Little Ann, I think, are the names of the dogs. Old Dan and Little Ann. I had to look this up, so I went back and I looked it up. I was like, "What are the dogs' names?" Oh yeah, that's right. And they go through all these adventures. The kid trains them. They go out and they win a championship, and they actually like get the family some money, and they win like $300 by treeing a couple of like the most raccoons at this tournament or whatever. And then something really tragic happens at the end. The dogs die. And he
just Critical Role spoilers. Hey, you've been warned in the previous episodes.
Yeah. This
spoilers.
is an old book, so if you haven't read this, it's whatever. It's a sad book. Hey, Old Yeller also dies. Okay, so this sad dog books have a real special place in my heart. But the whole title is that when he goes and visits their graves, he buries the 2 dogs, the brother and sister, together. And when he goes and visits them, in between the 2 graves is
You're wrenching my heart right now. Of giant red fern.
A giant red fern, yeah. And as he sits there and he stares at this red fern, the legend is that red ferns can only come from places where angels stood.
Oh, jeez.
And so,
this is deep.
Right, this is
heavy.
Yeah, deep and heavy and sad and wonderful and heartbreaking all at the same time. So as soon as I read that, my whole brain just went back to being a kid and reading those books and the other sad, amazing books that I read when I was a kid too. It just
This is kind of too much right now. In the last week, maybe 2 weeks, I have a new girlfriend these days, and I passingly mentioned
hearing all about it.
And he's fucking tired of it. We watched The Notebook together,
Oh god.
And then afterwards it was like, all right, let's cleanse the palate a little bit. So I was like, all right, let's watch a Man Named Otto.
Oh, okay.
That did not clean the palate.
No.
It did not cleanse the palate. We're just sitting there. We're just like, ah. And then we went to bed and went to work the next day. Our palates are not cleansed yet.
No.
So now we're hearing about where the red fern grows.
Yeah.
Man.
They made a few movies about it too. I think Wilford Brimley was in one of them.
I mean, a lot of movies are made off of these.
Yeah.
Heavy literary. I mean, like Catcher in the Rye had like 7 movies made after it.
Hey, my screensaver just changed on my monitor, and it's a fucking raccoon staring at me.
Does its eyes follow you?
I'm gonna take a picture of it just to show you that I'm not joking. That's creepy.
I can see it in the reflection.
Dude, and it's a sad-looking raccoon too.
Oh man.
Okay. Not my screensaver, sorry, my background. My Windows background is set to change every 10 minutes. I'll send you a picture of it. Whew.
Sounds good. But hey, dude, we're talking about this episode.
We should probably talk about this, right?
Where the red fern grows. It's just straight up like glows.
Oh, sorry. Okay. We're talking about the episode or the book?
Wait, should we just like... All right, let's just restart. All right. Hey, I'm Tim and Taiwan.
Taiwan. No, just kidding. Okay, so this episode is called "Where the Red Fern Glows."
Glows, not grows.
Because Fern does the poofy thing. She goes and does the best, most amazing thing that anybody can ever do, and splits the party. Mm-hmm.
You can never really tell when he's being facetious. You just got to wait until he finishes.
I'm gonna say I watched this episode on Friday night when I got home from work, and I loved it. And then when I did my rewatch, my casual rewatch on the Sunday, which is when I Friday night I watch it uninterrupted. I just sit and I just watch the entire thing, and I enjoy it. Don't think about it, just watch it. I don't turn chat on. I just watch the episode and I just enjoy it. I'll take a break. I'll walk away. I'll go walk the dog. I'll do whatever, and then I'll come back. But I generally don't get interrupted. I just watch it and enjoy it. Sunday,
I usually watch it in 4 parts. I watch the first half in 2 parts, the second half in 2 parts, and then hopefully again.
On Sunday, when I sat down to watch it, I was amazed at how many problems I had with this episode.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. It was like nonstop. The rules lawyer, not just the rules lawyer in me, it was coming out.
Man, I got some questions for you, bro.
The logic of some of their choice of words and actions, and I was just like, what this episode was not. It was I know I'm telling you. So he popped up as soon as we were talking. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, buddy.
That's amazing.
Yep.
Yeah, I got a few questions about this. Are you particularly talking about battle?
Yes. Mostly,
that's the whole first half.
But also the other stuff like that they did and said and asked and thought about and everything.
I can't wait to get into this. I feel like this is some Rolly shit.
Hey,
yeah,
we're only like almost done our show.
Yeah,
let's do it.
I got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 6 things. I think they can fill up a good half an hour. You want to do Rollies right now?
Let's get into it. Let's do some
Rollies. With a 2 right next to a 20.
9.
You piece of shit.
All right, then I'm just gonna throw this right out there.
This will govern what I say next.
The battle, because just that's what the whole part of. Listen, why before we even start the battle part, why the fuck she did this? I was like, Matt, you evil genius. Of course it's a sugar glider, and of course Ashley's gonna go. This wasn't
that's
Fearne.
right here.
This wasn't Fearne. This was Ashley, 100%. But I'm gonna talk about like everything that Ashley was doing by herself just illustrated how bad she is at combat.
You said illustrated through gritted teeth.
Yeah, because it's
illustrated.
I'm not happy. The so many mistakes. The Earthbind wasted her turn because she thought it was something completely different.
You mean after the battle started?
Yeah, once the combat starts. She does Earthbind on the Dark Fern.
Because you went from sugar gliders to battle. That was a quick separation.
Sorry, this is what I'm talking. This is what I really wanted to talk about.
All right, I'm gonna go back as my yes and I'm gonna go back to the sugar gliders in a second.
The extra damage dice. The extra damage dice when she bamps out Mister. She totally forgot about. She did catch that one at the end of combat. Her just the way that she's doing her combat stuff in there, and everything should have been at all the attacks should have been at disadvantage.
She had 1 point of exhaustion,
right?
Yeah,
which means which is like you're at
all ability checks.
No, she was at
Keyleth cured her of 2.
No, that's late. Mm,
Shit, was that after? Fuck, I'm confusing my second and first half.
yeah, now I'm not sure. So that was way after when Keyleth cures. So she brought her back to 1.
Yeah, no,
Okay,
she had 3 fucking
yes,
exhaustion points
but at
for the
end of
first
combat,
half.
because she dropped
Because she died, yeah.
because she dropped the form.
But that means she had 1 before, correct? Because when you die, you get 2. Is that correct?
No, when she dropped her form, the spark of Raishan, when she drops that form, it takes, now I forget if it's 1 or 2.
Oh,
It
boy.
might be 2.
Get in touch, y'all.
I might be wrong. So
She had 3. I know that when she was talking to Keyleth, or when Keyleth talked to her.
When they deactivate the Titan form, I think they get 2 points of exhaustion.
Damn, that's heavy, dude.
It's really heavy. It sucks. It might only be 1. I'm not sure.
It better be worth it.
It's not that bad because lesser restoration removes 1, and if all they need is just gold.
And
then
Keyleth
they
did
greater
restoration,
yes.
which removed 2.
Which removes 2. Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So it's like, okay, you could just do lesser restoration and remove them, pop, and then bang, bang, and then they're back to normal again. It's not that big a deal. It's just a resource management issue. If we're gonna like cheese the system or whatever. But yeah, all I want to do is just say like it's not good. This was a very, very, very bad decision that could have ended very. I wonder what would have happened. My real question for you is, if not for Orem, she would have died.
Yes.
What happens then?
Got to find her and bring her back. I have another thing about this too. I mean, there's a lot around this.
That's you. Go.
Should I yes and with that? Damn it! I was gonna yes and with another thing. You know, I'm gonna yes and with the other one then. Is there an implication that if they kill an exalted or a Ruidus born of some level, if they kill them, that they can actually bring them back as more powerful as they than they were before?
No, I don't think so. I think they just die like a normal person dies.
Right, but like the conversation afterwards was like, why do you insist on doing this when we could make you more powerful? It's like, dude, you nearly fucking killed me.
Yeah, I think
what's the point here? What's the purpose here?
I think the point is that he wanted. You're talking about Zathuda, right?
Yeah,
Sora Lord. Yeah,
her
so
dad.
I think this will be my yes and right into this because that's actually one of my really important points is that this is a Fey entity we're talking about, and Matt has in Exandria in this universe, Fey creatures are whimsical. There is no reason for why they do things. They just do it because they are selfish, they are self-centered, they are self-absorbed, all the selves. They are just about themselves. They don't care about others. They really only do things chaos. They're chaos incarnate. I mean, Artagan was an archfey, so he was to the even more so than that. But it feels like Zathuda just is like, yeah, no. Fuck Ludinus, like that's good for me for a while, but I'm not interested in him anymore. I'm going to do my own thing, and the entire plan to
feels
release.
Like everybody's saying that.
Yeah, kinda. It's a bit of a trope about the bad guys. They are never really that jointed because they're all power hungry, but doubly so when it comes to Fae in this universe. They really Matt really leaned heavily into it, and I don't think Ashley with Fearne picked up on that because she was very much like, no, you can't tell me what to do and you can't blah blah blah, and I'm not Zathuda, I am Calloway. And there was a lot of indignation, whereas like an actual Fey creature would have been like in this setting in Matt Mercer's planar system, wherever this universe is. Well, they would very much be acting like that. It was very much on par, which was really funny when I did my second watch because I always watch it with chat. The amount of anger thrown at Zathuda from chat was steaming. It was. I was watching it, and the comments that were coming out about how evil and monstrous and what a terrible father that this Sorrow Lord is. And I'm like, yeah, but wait a minute. Hang on a second. You're putting your earth values onto a fey creature
Right.
where, by Matt's own description, they don't give a fuck. So it made me suddenly realize. I'm like, I wrote a note about this. I'm like,
Where's Birdie
this
from?
is
Where's Birdie from?
she's
Which
from the
plane?
Fae.
She's from the Fae as
Yeah,
well.
she's a Fae. She's from the Feywild as well. She
Okay,
is also Fae.
and we know that whole story where it's
Yes.
like he just fucking used her to try to
Yes.
get a
Yes.
Rhodus born and succeeded.
100%.
And she's
So,
also a Fae, so maybe she understands. It's like, oh yeah, he used me, but
fully
whatever.
believe that. Fully believe that.
Okay,
Morrigan, their Nanimorrigan is exactly the same. They're all whimsical creatures of chaos. And so I was reading the comments of chat about how bad, evil, of a father that this Sorrow Lord is, and I'm just like, yeah, this is the reason why people talk about toxicity in D&D, is because you are putting your own values into something that does not, where it does not belong.
Right.
In another system, in another place, in another time, yeah, maybe, but not here, not for this case. This is like the same shit that people were throwing at Artagan with about her being a monster against Jester. No, he was absolutely not a monster to Jester. He was a guiding force for her, and there was nothing wrong with that because he is an archfey, and that's what they do. Anyway, just that's my little rant over, and yeah.
We have a viewer chatting. It says,
Oh.
evil. Apparently, this viewer,
Hey.
it looks like AJ Young. Oh, sounds like they might be from Taiwan.
What's up, bro?
They're saying evil. I agree. Yeah, that's some evil shit. According to where we
disagree.
are from.
Yeah, I disagree.
We see it as evil,
on
but
brand.
it's they're
exactly what this Sean Connery dragon riding person would do.
Do you see the evil? Yeah, and Birdie not being able to perhaps see how she's being duped into some fucking thing. It's like, he really painted the picture where Birdie was kind of like from the prime material plane instead of the Fey realm or whatever. I'm not sure if that
Am I
makes
wrong about
sense.
that? It might be that she is. I don't really remember. I'm pretty sure they were members of the Unseelie court that were kicked out or something. I can't remember the lore, man. There's too much to keep track of.
Get in touch right down
Yeah,
there.
sure, probably. We could
just
just look it up on Critipedia.
Hey, look, man, we're 2 critters in Taiwan. We're not 50 critters in Taiwan.
We're not
So,
Danny Carr here.
Get in touch down there.
Shall we try another rollie?
Yeah, geez. Yeah, we had a couple of... Yeah, let's do it. Wait. No, I had something to say on that.
Go.
Hold on a second. When I was saying that, I felt like there was, an implication. Like, after that battle, the dad was saying... not necessarily why do you keep doing this? He said something more like, it's crazy how people do this instead of just join it, something like that. And the thing is, what if Fearne died? What if Orm never showed up and she died?
Yeah.
And I started thinking, okay, so we can resurrect you. Your choice. What do you want? Do you want resurrection or do you want death?
Right.
Probably will choose life, and then there are going to be conditions, right? It's like, okay, we'll bring you back. However, here's what you got to do. And if you don't do it, then I guess we're just going to kill you again or something like that.
Yeah, the Critical Role doesn't really do that very much, but that is a thing that a lot of tables do. I've played a few tables where it becomes you can come back, but there's going to be repercussions for that.
Yeah. Yeah, not necessarily blackmail, right? But just a leverage or just bribery, I guess, or something like that.
Stuff. It depends. That's a
I will kill you anytime unless
that's
you...
a DM. That's a DM thing that has to have good trust with the players. Table thing, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's that. That's all I have for that.
Okay.
Let's do another rollie, eh? Let's do it. With a 10.
9 again. That's 2 9s in a row.
Hey, look at me. I got one. I really didn't expect to win with a 10. All right. Maybe I'll just go from the fucking top of the list here. No, let me see if I have a relevant one. Let me see. Okay, no. This is the one I was going to start with. Matthew knew exactly what the fuck he was doing using a sugar glider.
Oh, 100%.
It wasn't Matthew and Fearne. That was Matthew and Ashley.
And Ashley. Yeah.
He was
yeah.
like, I'm gonna, and what you see, like I just watched the first half just before we came on cast here, and he was like, you're kind of like in a half sleep state, you know, and then like, you know, something kind of brushes your shoulder or something like that, and what you see is like, as I could best describe, I'm Matthew, I know you're watching, and I know I'm not saying exactly how you said it. It's like, as you could say, maybe a sugar glider.
Yeah.
And who doesn't love a sugar glider? The giant eyes relative to their face, and she's just like, whoa! And of course she's gonna follow that motherfucker.
One of my actually over the course of my time here in Taiwan, a couple of students have brought them in as pets. And have you ever actually held a sugar glider
Yes!
before? Dude,
I didn't know what it was when I first held one.
They are the softest, cuddliest, clingiest little thing you've ever held in your hand. Yeah, their hands are like soft little rubber pads that just envelop you. And I'm like, oh, you are the most adorable thing ever.
I don't need kids ever in my life. I just want you.
Yep.
It's amazing, those little things. And of course, and like, what was that old the other animal when Ichi was on? Kawaka?
Yeah, what were they called?
Kawaka, something like that, right?
That, yeah.
But like, it turns out that they're actually fucking terrible moms, because they'll just like, oh, there's a predator, I'm gonna throw one of my babies at it, so that we can be safe, and be like, okay, nope, that baby's that baby's prey now.
Very much.
And as soon as they found that out, I think there was a four-sided quokkas. Okay. And as soon as they found that out on, what is it, four-sided dive or something, they were like, oh my god.
Yeah.
But they are still really cute.
Yep.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that like Matthew was like, oh, okay, so a monkey comes in, and it's like, okay, she likes monkeys. No, that's not good enough. Let's get Ashley involved personally, to get her to follow this animal. If it was a bat, she'd be like, she did joke. She was like, and I go back to sleep. And Matthew was like, do you?
Yeah, I know.
And I thought she was serious.
It's a baller move. I was hoping she was serious, but no.
I thought so too, man. Yeah. I wish she just went right back to sleep and just see how the day goes.
Yeah, yeah.
I was really hoping for that, because, like, of course, if you're gonna follow this fucking carrot on the end of the stick in front of, come on, man.
And then the only so far, the only chastisement is from Imogen, who was like, "Don't do that," and that's it. Like,
from Imogen or Laura?
Well, a little bit of both. Yeah, column A, column B, whatever you take your pick.
There's always Laura and a little bit of Imogen there. Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. Wait a minute. So
yeah, I guess that's my yes end, but I got nothing about that, because it's basically, although I guess there is one interesting thing to say. Sora Lord Zathuda does say
that's right.
that Fearne should be the heir. It said she should be exalted to pass the hallowed cage and awaken it, whatever the fuck that means. So yeah, it's like, what did you say? Time to unlock your potential.
You say whatever that means, although we both have our ideas of what that means, and any viewer kind of knows what that means. The vessel.
The idea is that Predathos wants to possess a vessel, and then that's going to be the way, and that Zathuda wants that to be Fearne.
But it can't just be bengreenspoon. It's got to be somebody who's
got to be an exalted.
Rude is born and proven themselves time and time again.
So I think he was hoping that during this fight that Fearne would become exalted, which didn't happen.
No.
So
in some versions, she got that Titan shard inside of her.
Yeah, we don't know the mechanism, eh? We don't know what the mechanism is that makes Rudis form become exalted. It just happens, and Matt must have a rhyme or reason for it, or who it can happen to.
Right.
Because it happened to that one kid, right, on the moon when they had that battle with the mind what were they called?
Mind fucker? No.
No, the one that the
I just do my best to make
outside
sure that
the elders' house.
Remember
when the one high up, right, Laura came and showed up. and was like, "Oh, I'm just checking to see what's going on here. I need to talk." And then they attacked, and there was a bunch of other Exandrians, and one of them exalted right in front of them. When they first arrived at the Bormodo village on the moon. Anyway, we've talked about it before. It's all good. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So we've seen it happen, and Odahan exalted as well. But I mean, we don't know
Wait,
why.
did we watched her exalt?
Yeah, that was the exalted form when she changed and then became resistant to everything.
So we saw the exaltation happen.
Yeah.
But we didn't
during the battle.
But we didn't necessarily have. I mean, was Imogen's explosion? Was that her exaltation?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Hey. I mean,
again, a lot of stuff we don't know because
if it's like 5 or 7 episodes ago, I might not remember it. And also, everything's fucking new,
right?
So, like, hard to keep track of this shit.
All right.
Another rollie?
I think it's my turn. Yeah, I think I'll do my yes and. Oh no, I already did. Let's do another rollie. I did. That was my yes and. It was about the Sora Lord stuff.
All right. Oh man, another 2 right next to the 20. Jeez. No, that's not the right button. There it is.
Okay, so I think what I want to talk about, I want to. Here's an interesting thing. I noticed when they go after this, right after the break, when they go and they meet up with Keyleth and everybody else at the exam. What are they called? The Exandrian Concord. When they go and they meet up with everybody in the war meeting, and it's Mythiker. that was a funny moment. Myth Taker Chi or Key or whatever.
I heard Mythiker as well.
I know, yeah. Well, I watch with subtitles on, so I'm usually reading at the same time.
And they got really good fucking subtitled motherfuckers on this show.
Yeah, they're really good. No. But the one observation that
Mythiker
that they all had was that Matt made it very evident that Keyleth is tired, exhausted, borderline like falling asleep, not
leaning on the table,
leaning on the table, tired, exhausted, blah blah blah.
And when they came in, she writes herself.
Yep. It's like it's a bit of a thing, you know. She's like constantly moving forward, and made a big deal about her resolution.
Her spirit, as she says
my
later.
immediate comment about that is that in 5e, mechanically, elves only need 2 hours of sleep.
Oh, so she's been that busy?
Yeah. to not be able to find 2 hours to get a full rest, to knock off a point of exhaustion in a day.
Even Orem needs a short rest to fully recover. Even Orem. Which is level 13 little fighter dude.
Well, not fully recovered. You can only he still needs
maybe at that time.
Yeah, he still needs a long rest to get some of his abilities back. The action surge.
Maybe at that time when he was like, dude, if I take a short, maybe I missed.
I'm talking pure mechanics here, but from a pure mechanic standpoint,
lazy girl.
For Keyleth to be that exhausted means something.
Yeah. She's on all the time. She's working 74-hour days, right?
Yep.
I don't know why it's 74.
I think you amalgamated 24/7 there into 74.
There we go.
That's my guess.
Yeah, probably.
At the same time, as they start upload at that same moment, so I'll just carry on into the thing. Belcel starts uploading all the lore to. Oh, Hazel, come on, man, you gotta chill here. Okay,
I like how her tail shows up every now and then.
Just chill. I thought it was an interesting point when she started. I wrote this down. I got a timestamp for this one.
Timestamp. Yep.
2:42:20.
Yeah.
On the Twitch stream, Keyleth knows of some people that have done research in Aor. As soon as she said that sentence, watch the reaction of the table. Half the table goes, big smiles. They all start looking around. They know we're going to get something. Bo, Caleb, who is it? And then she says, oh, no, my one main contact is busy doing something else. That's Caleb. And so then she's like, but they have an associate who's going to join. And I was like, the first time I watched it, I was like, I don't know who that is. I was like thinking, I'm like, it's probably Bo. It's probably somebody else. Who knows? Maybe it's somebody else that Caleb's been working with.
It's a large organization.
I went back and I watched. So the second watch, I went back and I always watch it. I turn the chat on, and it's just there, and I'm sort of half paying attention to it. But as soon as they said that, chat went Essek.
Really?
They fucking nailed it. And this is not the rebroadcast. This is the first one. I don't watch the rebroadcast anymore because it's filled with spoilers. I watched the first one, and everybody fucking nailed it. Chat called it like crazy.
I think the cast called it too.
Yeah, I think they did too.
Because Liam was sitting there.
I didn't know it until the accent, until Seth Domade.
Nor did I.
Yeah.
Not at all.
As soon as Matt brought the accent out, I was like, I know that.
Yeah, and you know, Matthew has a plethora of these accents.
Yes.
However, you know, sometimes they repeat. You know, like the ogres, etc. You know.
Yes.
But Liam,
the dwarves.
Liam, at first, he was like, "So this is Larkin, right?"
Yeah. They at that point
right away.
They knew it. Yeah.
And then Chetney / Travis came in later.
The metagaming became hard to resist there.
What did he say at that point? What the fuck did he say? He was
he tried to make a comment, and then Matt was like, "What?" And he's like, "Nothing. Never mind."
I forgot what he said.
He shut
oh no,
down
he was like, I squeeze his hand and I smell my hand.
Yeah, that was later.
You don't smell anything strange. It's like you smell leather.
Like
nothing strange, you know, which is good, normal because it's just a person.
Yeah, the metagaming became hard to control at that point. They were all on it. They're like,
but Essek is not doing an illusion. Essek is doing a true polymorph or some kind of polymorph, right?
Some kind of polymorph, yeah.
Yeah, not true polymorph because that's a ninth level, right?
Yeah,
but even though he has that, but
maybe we don't know.
Right.
Stop block for Essek isn't out there, but we don't know. But probably.
Yeah.
He might be not. He might have ninth level spells. I don't know.
He might be level 20 at this point, dude.
Man.
Did they meet him in the first campaign?
No.
No. He was definitely second campaign, right?
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
Huh. Well, shit.
That's it. That's mine.
Is that my yes and then?
That's your yes and go.
Okay. Well, then speaking of this, when they had that, I'm skipping to the end of the episode here.
Okay.
But I'll skip back.
Just a dash.
Not exactly sure.
I just kept screaming that at the TV when they were talking about it. Just a dash.
And nobody was doing it because it wasn't second campaign. So, when they were sitting there, it was a mage battle, right?
Yeah. I wrote it down if you want the point by point.
All right. I could do a timestamp GIF if you want it. The thing that I have seen and not seen sometimes, about 50-50, is knowing the level of the spell that you're countering. Mm-hmm. You know, because like every now and then Matthew will be like, "Oh, counterspell, okay," and then he'll say, "What level are you
what
casting
level are you
at?"
casting it at? Yeah,
and they have to choose 3 or 5 or whatever.
That was.
This time he was like, "It's a 7th level spell. What are you gonna do?"
Yeah, well, this was.
What are the rules here, Ben?
I think it's because my take on it is they don't have a wizard in the party, and so because they're sorcerers. It's innate magic, and I think that makes a difference in the way that they approach magic.
Is this rule of cool or
very much rule of cool?
Like he gets to choose whether or not he tells you.
Primarily, when he would do that was with Caleb, when he would be like, right, because Caleb did counterspell, but when Ford did it in campaign 2, it was a thing as well. Hard to say. I think it's more just a moment thing. It's like if Matt also knows that they don't have 7th level. Oh, they do have 7th levels, but
they do. They just got them, right?
Well, who? Because the only one that would have a 7th level spell would be Imogen, because Laudna multiclassed, so she doesn't have access. Fearne multiclass, so she doesn't have access.
Okay.
The only one that is kept up at FCG, would have been level 13 as well. Dorian, the reason he had a 7th level spell is because he's a true bard, but everybody else multiclassed. So all the casters. So they don't have access to 7th level spells. So
Right.
Laudna casts that counter spell, which she was holding, and that's why he said though it's 7th level, because I think she's a sorcerer or warlock, a sorlock. So I think it's very much just a rule of cool, like just do the thing. Yeah, I'm telling you what it is, so you have to roll.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Because, like, I just had the question because it doesn't always come up, He never, he doesn't always say, "Oh, it was level 5." So
yes, well, this is an archmage that's going to be doing it. It's going to be at 7 or 8 or not 9, but probably
especially if
7
they're
or
really trying to get away,
6 or 7.
But he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to tell them that though.
You only
Like
get,
the
it's
DM.
interesting because even at level 20, you only get one level 7, 8, 9. So it's funny that he would have cast it at 7. I think I've talked about this before.
She wanted to get the fuck out. Of course, she would
7th
cast it the highest she could.
Well, then it would have been 9, but that doesn't really make any sense. Or
if she's
8,
level 20,
which probably is.
I'd imagine. If Caleb or Bren is at level 20, then she should be too, right?
Yes, absolutely.
She probably gets a 20 before he did.
Probably.
Because of where she went, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, yeah, it's a level 7. Like, what is she saving something for? It's like, oh, if this falters, then I got a wish still? I don't know how this works.
8th level as well. Wish is 9. You may not even have wish, right? Like, it's that's sort of
she's
one
level
of those
20,
things.
she's got it, right?
Maybe if she has wish. Like for wizards, they don't just automatically get spells. Like bards and sorcerers just get them. Which is why Scanlan had
Wizards
wish.
choose?
Wizards have to learn them.
Oh.
So she would have to have access to somebody who had wish, so then she could copy that down into her spell book.
Right.
Or purchase it, which would be like a fucking billion gold.
A huge amount, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Just saying, mechanically, and who knows, right? Like, I'm just talking about what I've experienced as a player. It's rough. Rollies? Are we over an hour?
We're close to an hour. Should we bang out a few?
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's bang out some
rollies or just go.
Let's rollie it up.
Roll it.
18.
17.
My turn. Fucking hell. All right, here we go. Chet, big fan of when he said, "Fuck you guys."
Yeah. With all
huge
due respect,
fan.
Fuck you guys.
And one thing I love about the term "all due respect," you don't define how much respect you get.
Nope.
It's just, hey,
It's
all due respect, whatever you deserve. Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved it when he said it, and watching the people's reactions across the table, that you audibly heard Laura go,
yeah,
and then you look over at Taliesin. He's like, yeah, punk rock. I loved it when he said it. And watching across the table, people were like, what are you saying? And I really don't think that Travis meant to be like, I'm going to shock you just to see how you react. Now, I truly believe that he was like, no, fuck you guys. You're putting us in this situation. What the fuck, man?
We're the keepers of lore here, not you. Yeah, it was a fun little speech. I have thoughts about that.
Go ahead. You stand it right now.
I have a thought about that. I think he said it. This is what I wrote down. I think he said it not so much as a fuck you to the council, but more as a fucking rally cry for the rest of Bell's Hells.
Sure.
I think it was more intended as a let's fucking go, guys. Like, let's do this. We're worthy of this, because I feel like there's a lot of insecurity at this table, role play wise. I think there's a lot of like, oh, we're so broken and everything's so terrible and we're blah blah blah. They sometimes these actors lean a little bit too hard into the acting, as opposed to leaning into like, let's play D&D here, which is silly to say, because playing D&D has many different things to everybody. So yeah, I think it was my opinion is that it was more of a rally call than it was an actual like, yeah, fuck you, we're not doing what you tell us.
He makes a good point, though. I love how he said, in your terms, a fucking ragtag group of fuck-ups.
Right.
And you sent us to the fucking moon for a recon mission,
Yep.
Good point, Chetney,
And I mean, Keyleth had a really good point as a comeback to it. It's like, other people are doing shit too. Like, when they arrive at Zadash,
everybody's dying.
Yeah, when they get it, think about when they get to Zadash and they're like, "Fuck, shit's fucked up here too." Like the city's broken, everybody's in panic. There's been a siege on the city. Like clearly, a bunch of nonsense has been happening all over the place. So, yeah, not
I
just
wouldn't,
them.
I wouldn't necessarily call it nonsense, but
Well, I wonder what happened in Zadash. What do you think happened there? Do you think something broke out of a prison, or do you think something attacked,
well, I mean, like, why
or
is a
both?
dash? You
Like
know?
the Tri-Spires. The Tri-Spires are there. There's a
Okay.
Cobalt Soul place. There's a
Okay,
bunch
the
of
Cobalt
big.
Soul, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
well, the
dash, right?
Tri-Spires too, because there could have been artifacts in there by the wizards that had them. I mean, the archmages are in Zadash, so they've got three wizard towers there. It's probably something valuable. That's where the beacon was being held in campaign 2.
Yeah.
So it's possible that there's other valuable stuff going on there. Campaign wrap up will probably tell us. I hope.
That brings up a lot of shit. It's
Yep.
like, how do
Which
you
is-
get a God Eater to come out and actually succeed? Well,
Here's
you
an
gotta,
interesting question. Yeah,
you
I
gotta
got one.
destroy. Oh, hold on, you gotta destroy people's faith in their fucking God somehow, right? And like, if you
yep.
destroy the towers, then maybe it just like it stops people backing the God or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah,
I don't
maybe.
know. Just shooting out there.
Um,
Shots in the dark here.
I have I also wrote down. There's another interesting thing. When they wanted to get into the Tri-Spires district, they went invisible. Right?
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
cast invisibility on themselves and then they snuck through the gates.
Yeah.
Remember when Caleb and was not at the time,
That's a good point.
tried to get through those gates where he dressed himself up as a noble, and then they were like, "Nope, and he looked, and Matt's like, "You look down on yourself and you're in your dirty old ragtag robes." The
Right.
illusion,
There was like a wall.
there's like a dispel magic thing. Now, with it's two thoughts crossed my mind. Could be that Matt forgot about it, but which is doubtful. Or two, it's been that dispel has been dispelled because of the recent attacks on the city.
And
That's
because of the solstice and all that shit.
Could be. Yeah,
things
could
have
be.
been dispelled,
Right.
Certain magics
be
don't
gone.
work.
Be surprised they wouldn't redo it, but maybe it's lower on the list of priorities. So I just thought it was an interesting point. Like that was an odd one.
That's fucking astute, though.
Shall we do some? I'm getting antsy here for time.
I got
so
two
let's-
left, and we're already at an hour. Let's do it.
let's get through
Let's
this.
bang out. Let's bang out.
12.
18.
Jesus,
Tucker Williams. You know what? I basically only have one at this point. They went to the porn shop,
Yes.
and Matthew was ready with a bunch of titles.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, he was prepared.
The penultimate title that he said before Tusk Love was The Gale and the Raven.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I understand that one. And then
Uh-huh.
I was thinking, hold on, this is my second time through, and I understood The Gale and the Raven, because that's clearly the Tempest and Vax.
And Vax. Yeah.
What about the others?
Yeah.
Were they inspired by other stories? Did you
doubt it.
happen to catch anything?
Yeah. No, I listened to them. I remember thinking the same thing. I'm like, probably nothing.
Or did he just make up things, like the jade
No,
wind or whatever he said?
I just listened to them and I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Yep.
So you didn't happen to catch any other?
No.
I wonder
No,
if anybody did. We're going to employ you right now. If you caught anything that we didn't catch, first campaign, second campaign, third campaign, any of those stories that were encapsulated in his titles.
When they
get in
first
touch.
went in there, when the Mighty Nine went to the Chastity's Nook, it was the same owner and the same lady, but she's in her 50s now, and she was writing a book way back in campaign 2.
Yeah.
I wonder if one of those titles was her book.
Oh yeah, there you go.
I just thought of that now.
But nobody knows that at this point.
That's right.
But yeah, I'm curious about like what story The Gale and the Raven is and who wrote it.
Love to know.
Who's
Probably
gonna
never
write
know.
about that story? Who knows The Gale and the Raven
Yeah,
as
well,
much?
It's likely that it's not. It's just a title that Matt chose for that reason, but it's probably
Loosely
about
based on.
something-
Like, oh, I
something
heard these people were in
completely different.
love. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably
my guess.
Jester. Who knows?
Yeah, I'll also a couple of
Yes,
things.
on that. Let's make it quick. Bud.
When they went to Zadash, Chetney was like, how much you got? Or Ashton was like, how much you got? We want some money. And Chet was like 10,000 gold. And immediately I was like, that's not enough money For level 13, not even close. Level 13 for 7 players is not even 2,000 gold each. Nowhere near enough gold at level 13. Not even close. That's like 1 or 2 items. That's it. Because some big items are 5-6K. So, yeah, what are they going to get? They're going to get maybe get some bunch of healing potions, which is good, but who knows? Like they're probably going to go visit Pumat next week, my guess, and they're going to buy a bunch of stuff.
There's a dash.
There's not going to be enough. There's not going to have enough gold. I don't know how much gold they actually have. They're very D&D poor for level 13. 10,000 gold adds to it, but it's not enough. Not enough. But my real point, which I'd love to make right now, is the one that I would like to follow up with.
Go ahead.
At 3 hours, 39 minutes, 40 seconds, they are coming out of the invisibility, and Seth Essek looks at the party and is like, "Yeah, let's just walk with confidence and try to blend in."
They come out of invisibility.
And he looks over at Ashton, and an immediate thought struck me. He looks at Ashton, pauses for a second, and then sort of shrugs and goes, "Okay, yeah, well, try your best." But what does he see when he looks at Ashton?
Does he have true vision?
No, but what he sees is that broken head filled with dunamis. And I was like, because at that point, like this is my rewatch, and I'm like, that's Essek, it's not Seth. And Essek would be, imagine that conversation where Essek, a fucking Dunamance mage, looks at it, like realizes that Ashton is a Dunamis barbarian, been repaired and rebuilt with using Dunamis potions. I just kept thinking that. I'm like, I wonder if that's ever going to get brought up. I hope it does, because it'll be a fascinating thing to think about.
Did you happen to see the looks on people's faces when Seth reacted to Imogen saying, "When my mom did the time stop thing"?
Yeah.
Because Seth was like, "Huh?"
Yeah,
Who's
very
your mom,
much like, wait a minute.
Did you happen to see their reactions?
Yeah, and then he says, "I don't know your mom," and then he's like, and then a little bit later he's like, "Oh, I know who your mom is." Okay, and then Matt was like, "Yeah, you're putting the pieces together here." At the same time,
they put it together that it wasn't Seth; it was somebody else.
Yes, I think there's an overlap between schools of magic here. I think the time stop, whatever the fuck, because that's not time stop.
Time slow. It was extremely slow.
But that's not a real spell in D&D.
Right. So it's Dunamancy.
But it's not a Dunaman spell either. The way that works.
Really? Okay.
It's not the way that Matt described it, because he described it as the people were slowly moving. That's not the way it works. He described it as the whole group. That's not the way it works. It's self. In fifth, it's only self. It's only you. You can't extend that to other people. So it's a homebrewed version of it in some ways, or something completely different. And I think it's a psychic spell, not a dunamis spell. I think it's an overlap of different schools. So many spells are. If you look at some spells, they're like, yeah, this spell is this, and this. So it's not just one or two schools. It's like that's.
Well, that reminds me of restoration being a branch off of necromancy.
Right, exactly.
Right?
Yep.
It's like, if you do this, then like you've ever healed yourself. In the second campaign, they made it very clear. You heal yourself. Where the fuck do you think that came from?
Right. Exactly. So yeah, there's something to think about there, but I don't think I think he's interested in it, but I think he's also smart enough to Matt playing him as smart enough is like, yeah, that's not really. He's like, well, that's interesting, because I like time, but I like time from a different perspective, not from that psychic perspective.
Yeah. That's
just my thought.
This last little point has nothing to do with it, but I do want to finally fucking say something that I've been wanting to say for fucking ages. Matthew, it's not clamber. It's clamor.
Mm-hmm.
And he keeps saying it. Clamor means to like wildly try to get your way out of something. Have I said this before?
Yes, you have.
I have. Oh, God
Yeah.
damn it. Okay,
That's
I'm
all right.
sorry.
It's all good. It's still point
But
is
he's
still
still
taken.
doing it. He still keeps saying clamber.
I think I'd like to say as my
I know
very,
you're watching,
very,
Matthew.
I think I'd like to say as my very last point, which I'm just going to throw out there because I'm staring at it in my thing. I don't think many people are aware of this, but when during that wizard battle with Astrid in the back room of Chastity's
Counterspell.
yeah, Dorian cast that 7th level force cage spell,
Which we didn't get to see because it was countered.
Yeah. Do you know how much that spell costs?
Tell me about it.
1,500 gold pieces worth of ruby dust.
Oh, of ruby dust just gone with a counter.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. That hurt more than I think everybody at the table realized.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you know what the spell is? Like you personally?
Force cage, yeah.
You know what it does?
We saw it in campaign 1.
Oh, we did.
Vecna cast it on
Vecna, the Ascended.
What's his name? The brass dragon from
Marquette. Yeah.
Ankarel, the Jermon Jassad, whatever, I forget his name.
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah.
The leader of Ankarel, the brass dragon. He joined the fight and Vecna put him in a force cage.
That's right.
So yeah, that
and that was the inspiration for Manners, wasn't it?
No, Manners came way before that.
Oh, okay. I'm wrong.
It's all good. But the idea is still this. It's a restraining thing. It's basically it's like it's not it's a fucking hell of a spell. Not concentration. You can't get out of it. If you try to do a spell inside it, no, it just lasts for an hour. It's a nasty one. You can bamf out of it, but you got to make charisma saving throws to get out. So it's very much a tough thing. Yep. You could try to bamf out, but you got to make for a spell to work, like Misty Step or Dimension Door or Teleport or whatever.
But you got to make a roll to
you got to make a charisma saving throw against the spellcaster's DC. So if you have like a high enough
charismatic caster,
you're fucked. Good luck. You gotta roll a nat 20, and even then it might not work.
You know, even like fucking Vecna, the Ascended, like he got followers because he was fucking, hey, like look at Hitler, man.
Charisma is not all the happiness, sunshine, rainbows.
It could be
lollipops.
Infamy, could be fame.
It's it's basically charisma is force of presence, like you say, like Hitler.
There's influence. Sorry, not influencing. There's convincing people, and there's also fucking being duplicitous. And
you know what? This is just totally off topic, but talking about Hitler. Did you? They went back.
Speaking of which,
they went back. People have gone back and used AI to translate Hitler's big famous rally speeches, his politician speech, translated it. It's on YouTube. You can go check it out. Translated it from German into English so we can actually understand what he's saying.
Right.
It's fascinating. He's at these giant rallies, thousands of people
with the same push and passion
and the same infliction, but in English, not in German. He sounds like a normal politician. He sounds like a dude screaming at a crowd like a normal politician would.
He just sounds like Bill Clinton back in the day.
Yeah. It's like, I will make the railroads run on time. All the trains will be good. You will all get to your work on time. Taxes will all come down. Farmers will get a due wage. It's like just shit like that. I'm like, oh, okay.
He just says it with way more passion.
Yeah.
We'll make this happen.
He was just on a lot of meth. Yeah. That's all.
It's just on a bunch of meth.
No, but that's a real thing. Right? Like his physicians gave him cocktails before every like they juiced him up.
Oh, jeez. I mean, I always drink before I play a show. He
was juiced to the nines before all those rallies. He was on
like
meth,
testosterone,
and all kinds of fucking and all different kinds of fucking adrenaline shit. They were cranking him full of stuff.
Jeez. Well, that's a whole thing, isn't it? What if he wasn't?
History, man, is filled with lessons.
That's a topic for another episode, dude.
Hey, speaking of which, I'm done.
I think Lucy's back there. I think this is the most she's ever communicated that she really has to pee. Look at her back there. She's like, Her head is off the couch.
Yeah, I've heard her I've heard her whimpering a couple of times. I think she's dreaming.
Yeah. And she went 3 days without peeing that one time.
I know.
Holy shit. I think she's sitting there. She just wants to drain that bladder.
Yep.
So let's go ahead and end this shit, man.
Let's wrap this up.
All right, cool. Let's see. Follow this guy, Ben Greenspoon,
Yep.
at Ben Greenspoon on all social media. Follow me at drummatucka on Instagram. I'm not on anything else. I upload videos of myself drumming, some other shit every now and then. So just follow me there to keep up. And I have no shows to promote. I just bought some cymbals from Ben, so I don't think he has any shows to promote. Yeah, no, fuck it. I checked that fucking Crash China.
It's so noisy.
It's a special effect, and it's perfect. And that splash is a little bit longer than like just like a.
Oh, it's a big splash. It's like a 12-inch splash. I think it's 12 inch. So it sounds like a splash, but it's got a lot more resonance to it. I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a really nice thing to go like if you want to do a double thing, like a double crash, which is all I have right now. You can go like,
yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah, no, it's a good accent. It's that's what I use it as, just a good little accent.
Yeah, I can't wait to fucking start using that thing, man. Yeah, so no shows right now. So hey, if nothing else, don't forget to love each other. And is it finally Friday?
Peace,
shit. We didn't talk about four-sided dive.
Peace. Well, this means fuck off, right?
Yeah, that means fuck you. Yeah.
This one means fuck you, so I should be doing this way.
Yeah, this way right here. Yeah. Yeah. Did you have anything to say about four-sided dive next time?
I watched it. It was good. I didn't really learn anything.
Yeah. Nor did I.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Hey, peace, y'all.
Peace. Oh, we had dagger on one shot.